All expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. Proud money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything movie, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Basket Robin shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving. Look, my no hands telepathic. I can make things move. I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.
Welcome back, everyone. It is a Crooked Commish. Now you guys can hear me. Now that the mute button's off. Back at it again, here to talk some more fantasy. Man, it's like I'm a rookie again. It's a good thing we're talking about these rookies here. So we're going to break down some of the more recent current news as well. We just had the NFL draft end a few weeks ago. So, you know, it's still fresh in our minds. The Mal from the Bay is back in the clubhouse. We're going to break down the draft, talk about some of the bigger names that came out this year. Which one of them are going to have a fantasy impact this year? Not next year, now. So drop any kind of names you like in the chat, any kind of trade options that you have going for dynasty leagues, because I know if you anything like me, and have had your dynasty draft already, as soon as the real draft happens, them dynasty drafts just can't wait. We're chomping at the bit. AC Adam, thank you for joining us. Good to see you here, my friend. Lee, good to see you. So any dynasty trade questions you have, drop them in the chat. We got a trade calculator here. We'll check them out. Try to make it as even as possible, you know, but sometimes when it comes down to a trade, you know, like if the calculator says you're slightly losing, but your gut is telling you like, nah, like this is a good trade. This is good for my team. That's what you got to roll with, man. So, but nonetheless, bouncing shit off the wall here as well. Any questions, any thoughts or ideas, drop them in the chat. We love to interact with you guys. So, but before we can do that, got to hit the intro.
Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record. Introducing first, he the Crooked Commish, making sure it's understood that he him. Next up, he the Mal from the Bay, dynamic duo. Hit you with an ounce of that game, they make you bow face and salute the truth. Curve all the blinds, they blind the whoop-de-whoop. On the path to the bag, got that money and the power. They gon' ball every fantasy football hour. Got them sour, these hacks can't hack it. Meanwhile, they on point like a cactus. Want smoke and get smoked like some cat piss. If you can't be good, damn it, be good at it. Ay, Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, finna up the score for the record.
Courtesy of a Bogey Scott Free. Man, I love that song. So anyways, guys, we're back at it again here talking some fantasy football. Let's go ahead and get our co-host in here and our guest of the evening. He's a very familiar face to the clubhouse. He's been here many times before. We've asked him to come back, and he's done just that. So we'll get him in here. But first things first, the man that has the loudest mouth, loudest voice in fantasy football. Doesn't matter which room you are in, you're going to hear him from bay to bay. That's why we call him the mouth from the bay. Welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing?
What's going on, Commish? Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, man, just enjoying the off season, getting ready for more fantasy drafts. We got some redraft leagues coming up here. We did our Dynasty rookie draft for the first time, so that was a fun experience. Got some guys that I'm happy with. Hopefully, you're happy with your guys and stuff. So
I kind of traded half my draft away, so I did what I could with it that first year. So,
but you were going for it. You were going for the win.
Yeah.
You damn near almost got it. You got to the championship game and was that close. So it would have been well worth it if you got that ring.
Yeah, they laid $1 short on that though, definitely.
Hey, that's why we come back and we do it again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So hopefully you don't fall. Hopefully you fall short again. You know, because give some room for your boy the commish to kind of come in there and win that shit. So, but if not, if someone else has to win it, then I guess it could be you. So,
I guess.
So let's go ahead and get our guest in here. I said he is a guy that is from the Tipping Point. Our boy Mike Tipton from the Mike Tipton Show here in the Tipping Point in the morning. How you doing, my friend?
You know me, dude. I'm always good, ready to talk my shit, get my stuff going on. Dallas Cowboys going to go 17-0, baby.
I know. I saw you did your score prediction, or not your score prediction, but your season prediction in your show earlier. And I saw you go all 17-0. I mean, it was very impressive how you talked yourself into it.
I legitimately cannot see a loss. Like nowhere there. I can't see it. It's like John Cena. Els and John Cena got the same thing in common. I'm just not going to see it.
Wow. Okay.
I think someone needs to do a wellness check on Mike. Someone needs to do a wellness check because he's definitely fell down and hit his head and drinking. Got 2 buckets of that Kool-Aid.
Been drinking a little bit of that lean. You know how it goes.
Yeah, that's not Miller Lite in that bottle. That's been substituted with something else, my friend.
Yeah, it's a concoction that I made up. I'll text it to you later.
Yeah. Hey, all right. If it's got me,
I'm definitely gonna need that. I'm gonna need that recipe. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Man.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it's got me thinking that the Bears are going to go 17-0, then hell, bring that shit on. I love that.
Hey, it's the way to do it, man. It's the way to do
it. We got Wise OG saying, Tip, did you hear what I said? That Ray said 17-0. Yeah. That Son from the Day game got you, tripping or tipping?
Tripping.
Definitely got him tipping.
Tipping on fofos, baby. But, okay, look, it wasn't sunny today. It was dusty today. And if you live in El Paso, you know what that dust is like. We have a haboob happening right now. Commish, I know you're familiar with that. And maybe that's what's got me leaning a little bit. But I did this a couple of days ago, saying that the Cowboys are going to go 17-0. So maybe I'm still on that shit.
I mean, I think it's very much obvious. My
question is that they're going to go 17-0, still losing in the first round.
Oh, 100%. I said they're going to go undefeated in the regular season. There ain't no way they're winning a Super Bowl. Shit, dude, they'll find a way. They can have the number 1 offense, the number 1 defense, the number 1 special teams, and still lose by 50 in the divisional round. Like, they'll find a way to do it. They should get a bye week, but they'll still find a way to lose it.
Mike, I have to say, for a Cowboys fan, that is one of the cruelest, sickest jokes that you could say upon your team there, because we've already seen all those videos of sad, dejected Cowboys fan after a playoff loss, all up in their gear, just looking like pissed. No, we all do.
It's like a second Christmas. It's like that's our first Christmas.
Team going 17-0, feeling so goddamn good about themselves, sweeping this, you know what I mean? And then getting bounced at home after their bye in that first round of the play, like the look on their face would just be like so dejected. It would be.
You see,
Getting taken out by 8 and 9 Tampa Bay team.
you can't.
Postman, thanks for checking us out. Go ahead.
You can't be disappointed if you expect disappointment. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's where we are.
Wow. No, I get that. And so then any kind of success, you're just like, oh my goodness. I love it.
So like right now, like
this?
realistic, I say 17-0. Commish, you've seen my show before. By the time the season starts, I'm going to say it's going to be 0-17. So that way we get one win. It's above expectations, baby. I know what I'm doing. I know how to handle myself.
It's like we got Happy Jerry and then we got Angry Jerry. You know,
Cyborg Jerry is what I'm going to have to deal with. It's going to be Frozen Head Futurama Jerry that I have to deal with. Other owners are going to die and move on to a better place. Jerry is going to haunt the Dallas Cowboys for the remainder of time.
He's just going to be a computer system.
Special shout out to Under the Hood, Jay Hood. Thanks for checking us out. Tip is the man. The bill of the cap is gangsta. Yeah. The team could be better, but yeah, no. The hat is nice and straight.
Oh, so, this is the Major League Baseball All-Star game. Like that's where I look.
Okay. All right. That'll work. Jedi mind trick. Yeah. So
hey.
All right, guys.
Postman knows how it goes. Thank you, Postman.
Let's get into it with the current news here that happened in the NFL. Our favorite guy that we love to hate over here in Chicago, our boy Aaron, has decided to play football again this season. As you can see, I'm thrilled. And came back to Pittsburgh, got himself a bigger paycheck than he did the first time here. So, is going to try one last. He said this is his last go around here. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Fantasy wise, is in a 2 draft league. I know in a single league, he's really kind of, you're pulling teeth to draft him, unless you're in a 16-man league or something like that. But in a 2 QB league, is he a viable option as your second QB, or are you better off going with another receiver or tight end or whatever else you can fill in there?
Oh well, he's definitely going to give you some QB points. I mean, fantasy wise, the offense wasn't horrible last year with him. I mean, he wasn't 5 or 6 years ago or 4-time MVP Aaron, but he was definitely still throwing the ball around with DK out there. So that's not a horrible stack option if that's something that Mike McCarthy is definitely a lot more of an offensive minded head coach than Mike Tomlin was. So the opportunity for him to at least get close to 25 plus touchdowns, maybe 3,500 yards is still, I mean, that's still not too bad, getting 20 to 30 points a week. You know what I mean? So depending on what your point scorers, what your totals are in whatever league you're doing. So definitely a second QB is in a redraft league. Now he's definitely probably going to be someone that's coming out free agent, but definitely those deeper leagues or that dynasty draft league. I mean, you always want to have 2 QBs if you can pull it.
I think he's going to be like my third QB, right? Because I looked at the stats right now. Pittsburgh's offense last year was 25th in total offense, 22nd in total passing yards. Mike McCarthy's going to go in there. They're going to become a more pass-oriented type of offense, right? But you're also hoping that a 42-year-old quarterback who has dealt with injury over the last couple of years is going to be able to drag the corpse of this team that is not an offensive juggernaut and be better than he was last year. I just don't see it necessarily happen that way. Third quarterback on my roster, maybe for whenever the bye week happens and I can't have somebody else, maybe that's where he is. If you're really stressed out and you need another second quarterback, like you messed up your entire draft in a 2-quarterback league, that's a pretty good option to fall back on there. But there's no way, none, that he's starting in a regular-ass league. Just none.
Yeah. He's not a top 20 quarterback at all.
And the thing too, I think that really hurts Pittsburgh and someone like Aaron Rodgers is considering that his average pass per play, I think, is like around 6 yards. So that's one of the lowest in the leagues there. And losing a halfback like Kenneth Gainwell to Tampa as well, I mean, that's going to hurt them as well because he was a nice little scat back, would take those little dump offs and could turn them into actually something valuable for someone like Aaron Rodgers and stuff. So I know they traded for Michael Pittman. So, I mean, that gives them another option to throw to. And like you said, he still got DK there. But I think the loss of Gainwell is the one that's really going to hurt Pittsburgh more than anything else. Go ahead, Mel.
I mean, they did pick up Rico Dowdle, though. So, I mean, it's not like they didn't kind of just picked one, kind of be running back for another B running back. So, I mean, he showed that he definitely put up some fantasy points, too. So, I mean, last year in Carolina. So, that might be interesting how they use him.
To me, there's a really big difference between Dowdle and Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell led the team in receptions last year, right? Like, he was a great check down type of dude. You can have DK, you can have Pittman all you want. That offensive line is still an issue. So you have to be able to check down the ball. And that's the reason why he only averaged 6 air yards, per attempt or whatever it was, or per completion. It's just, I don't know. Like again, he's an older quarterback. We've seen that he still doesn't have the arm strength that we'd like to see him have. He doesn't have the mobility that we'd like to see him have. That's definitely still the NFC North, so they're going to be bringing a lot of pressure coming up at him, right? Like, maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm an Aaron Rodgers hater. I'm sure Commish, you're an Aaron Rodgers hater. You're just in the same boat with me. Maybe it's just me being that. I want to go do ayahuasca with the guy, but other than that, my guy retired. There's nothing to play for anymore. You're just hurting your legacy the longer you play.
$25 million is a pretty good reason.
Yeah, I mean, one last good payday. You're kind of getting paired up with an old-time coach that you did have success with and win a championship with. Granted, I mean, it's not like you can totally rewind the clock there.
He also had beef with them too. He also beefed out with them too before.
That's what I'm saying.
That's going to be interesting how that works out. That first crack in the chink in the armor. We'll see how that sideline reacts if they get together and talk it out, or if they're screaming and people, throwing messages to the media back and forth at each other. So that'll be interesting. Those first few, 5 to 6 weeks, if any kind of they come out like 1-4, how that dynamic with that little marriage that second marriage crack real quick.
We've all seen it. We got those friends on Facebook that they're like in a long-term relationship, but then they break up and then they get back together and they break up and they get back together, but it's all public out there for everybody to see. That's what this feels like it's going to be.
Yeah, this is the it's that relationship, and this is the last-ditch effort of marriage counseling type of thing.
That's that status is complicated.
It's complicated. We're going to counseling. If this doesn't work, then like the hell with the kids. We're just gonna have to just break it up and split the assets.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? They're just looking at the ring, being like, "Man, I love this. I remember the memories that this gave me," and they're trying to run it back again, and it ain't gonna end pretty.
Between him and Mike McCarthy, for sure. yeah. Kind of looking that back and thinking like maybe we did. Maybe I still do love him. Maybe we did have something. Were we too rash? Did we just cut it off too soon? Were we both say things, when we were angry? And it's just like, yeah, you guys did do that, but then you did grow apart as well. So I mean, two things are true at once. So it's like
Aaron strikes me as a kind of dude, like he gets back in the relationship with him. He looks over at Mike McCarthy like, damn, you put on a few pounds.
Yes. Aaron could definitely, I can see him saying that as well. So he likes to, keep it real, I guess, as they would say. Right. So, but going on, let's talk about the draft and what came up. There was a hell of a lot of surprises that happened in the first round draft. I know the Mouth and I, before the draft, we were kind of setting an over-under on how many trades, not necessarily involving players, but just straight up, moving picks. Let me move up and I'll give you these picks and whatnot and stuff. How many trades would happen. And I had set the over-under at like 3.5. And I thought like that at the time was like kind of a decent line, maybe high line, and draft the first day came and they completely blew that number out of the water. Yeah. So, I mean, what were your thoughts on this, the trades? What was the biggest, I think, shocking, maybe trade up for a player? Was it the Rams trading up for Ty Simpson, or was it the Eagles kind of sneaking right underneath there and stealing Mekhi Lemon from the Pittsburgh in their home field there? Mike Tipton, I should say. Go ahead and go first, and then we'll go to the mouth.
I think it's got to be Philadelphia, right? Like the Ty Simpson thing. I think you can look at the Rams and be like, look, they're planning for the future. He doesn't have to start now. Like, obviously, he's a first-round pick, and most of the time, a first-round pick, you're like, that guy's got to get out on the field. You got the MVP right there right now, right? Like, he's going to get to learn from one of the best to ever do it. You can hate on him all you want, but Stafford is one of the best to ever do it. And he doesn't have to be thrown into the fire right away like Fernando Mendoza. Well, I guess not so much Mendoza, but like we've seen a lot of other, first-round quarterbacks have to be thrown into the fire and don't get the level of success that you'd like to see. So I understand the Rams going at it that way, right? They're building for the future. Philadelphia moving up, you didn't think that they were going to do, but now you kind of see, okay, they go and they get Lemon. Is it going to be now we see the exodus of A.J. Brown? What can they get with A.J. Brown? We're going to look maybe at a new style for the Philadelphia Eagles. So it kind of opens your eyes to be like, okay, maybe this team is getting ready to move on from A.J. Brown. And my question to that is, what do you think you can get for A.J. Brown? Because if I'm another team right now, I know he's not happy. You're eventually going to have to release him. So why would I trade for him?
Right. And then you already drafted Mekhi Lemon, so it's almost like they kind of see the writing on the wall of what you're trying to do as well. It's almost like the guy in fantasy where he's like, oh, I'm just gonna like take all the tight ends or all the quarterbacks, and then like when someone needs a quarterback, they'll like have to trade with me. And it's like, well, like if it's a super flex or whatnot, like they will either get their guy, their backup guy, or get someone that they can to feel satisfied with, instead of trading with you and giving like completely paying through the nose for someone that's just a Band-Aid fix type of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and like Dallas trading back to get Malachi Lawrence, I was like, he was gonna be there for you, wouldn't you? Like, you didn't need to trade back. It was a weird trade. All of it was weird. I didn't like the Dallas trades. Dallas, I'm glad they got Caleb Downs, but other than that, I think the draft was really weird for them.
Mouth?
That Mekhi Lemon thing, honestly, the only reason A.J. Brown is still there is because they're waiting for June 1st. He's a June 1st, cap hit strategy thing. I mean, Diana Ricini already told us, she did a lot of hard work to go out there and let us all know.
Yeah, she did some hard work.
To let us all know that it's pretty much, I mean, if another team comes in and kind of swoops in, then definitely maybe he doesn't go to the Patriots. But I think everybody knows that's like the worst kept secret for the last like 4 or 5 months, that he's probably most likely going to New England.
I think it's the new worst kept secret. The new worst kept secret. There was one before that just got exposed.
Yeah, definitely got exposed. But I mean, talking about like weird draft, the Niners, I scratched my head on what the hell they did. They backed up like 4 times to do some things that I didn't expect them to do. I thought, I mean, that Stripling kid might turn out to be the next T.O., but then he might turn out to be the next Cowing or whoever else that these guys have drafted for the last few years who hasn't worked out. So definitely, I thought they were going to do something in the next year. We get an offensive lineman, because there was a couple that we have our mock drafts up there, and I thought that kid from Utah was right there waiting for him.
Yep.
And they decided to back up 2 more times. So yes, one of those situations where I gotta hope that the people in charge are smarter than me, but sometimes I scratch my fucking head. Sometimes I scratch my head. I'm like, dude, like we're just gonna keep rolling out the same offensive lineman and hope that Trent Williams, plays till he's 50 or something, because I don't understand the process of we're just gonna keep finding band-aids to throw on our offensive line when we got Brock Purdy's not 6'6", 250. He can't just go out there and take, a couple linebackers up in his face and getting dropped all the time. So, I mean, that's definitely some head-scratching moves by the 49ers front office on that one.
I mean,
for sure. I mean, I think every team kind of had their moments in the draft, with that as well. Postman, real quick, who is your team? You said you wanted Stribling, so it's like what team was that you wanted him to go with? And then he did have a question real quick. Mike, go ahead and say what you want to say, and then we'll get this question.
So, I mean, like, I like what the 49ers did in, like, free agency, right? They go out there, they get Love to help out along the offensive line as well. And then Mike Evans is to me, like that's a cheat code. You throw the ball up to him, no matter how old he gets, he's going to be able to come down with it. That's a dude that moves the chains for you. So like that's like the Brock Purdy, and that's what he's been missing over like the last couple of years, right? Like he needs that guy that you can rely on, that you know is going to be able to move the chains for you. You need 10 yards. Mike Evans is going to get you 11. You know that's who he is. And I would say as of right now, Purdy's a little bit of a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield is, at least a more solidified quarterback than Baker Mayfield is. So maybe he can help, like he and Evans can help build each other up. And I really I don't think they needed to go out and do anything different. I like the draft for the 49ers, which is hard for me to say. It's really hard for me to say.
All right, my bad, Postman. I missed that part of it. Bear down. No, I mean, that would have been interesting to get Striblings on the Bears, though. I think, man, couldn't do it in the second round. I mean, if he was still there in the second round, they went there and got him. That would have been tough there.
That's
let's go ahead.
I don't think the Bears need him though, man. Like I
right.
Like the Bears have on offense, dude.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It would have been hard to really justify that. I mean, people are already flipping their lid over the tight end they took in the third round and the receiver after that. So I mean, it's like I'm sure if they would have drafted another receiver at that point, instead of the center or whatever, they really would have been losing their shit. So, but his question is, who will have the better career if you had to guess, Thieneman or Downs? Man, being a Bears fan, I mean, I'm hard pressed not to lean Dylan's way there, just because I really like the defensive coordinator is solid, and Dennis Allen. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere. He had his 2 head coaching opportunities, so it's not like he's one of these young, hot, rising defensive coordinators that you have to worry about leaving or seeking to get a job elsewhere. Granted, in another 2 more years or 3 more years, if the Bears are really firing and he wins a Super Bowl, or they win a Super Bowl, I should say, who knows what kind of doors that may open up at that point. But realistically, I think Dylan has a better chance there than Downs. Not to say that Downs is a bum or anything like that, but I'm going to go the Homer way there. Tipton, what do you think?
I mean, I'm in the same boat, right? Like, I like Caleb Downs. I think Caleb Downs is one of the best players in the draft. I'm surprised that he fell that far down to the Dallas Cowboys, so that's super cool that he goes out to the Cowboys. We don't have Matt Eberflus. I know y'all tried to tell me Matt Eberflus is going to be a good defensive coordinator. I should have thrown you out a damn window for trying to tell me all that nonsense that he was going to be a halfway decent defensive coordinator. So, I mean, as long as he's not as bad as the Dallas Cowboys defense was last year, Caleb Downs is already like the bar is set. Again, think about me, right? Like I say, they're going to be 0-17. They get 1 win. I'm happy. Anything Caleb Downs does from here on out is going to look amazing because of how bad that Dallas Cowboys defense was.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, like I said, you guys were already somewhat towards the bottom there. You really can't go any much further. You got rid of Eberflus as well. So it's like
somewhat towards the bottom. It was historically bad. You know how bad you have to be for the Dallas Cowboys defense to be historically bad? Because they've had some historically bad defenses.
No, for sure. Mouth, what do you think of that question between Dylan Thieneman and Caleb Downs? Who be the tiebreaker here?
Honestly, I think Thieneman's going to be on a better defense, but I think Downs is going to get the more opportunities. So I mean, he individually is going to have like the better probably like rookie year, only because that back end, there's nobody in that secondary that's going to come out there and take any kind of pressure on him or do anything. So he's going to have plenty of opportunities to be a playmaker on that back end, because that back end was, like Mike said, that was historically horrible defense, especially on that back end. And they went and they just absolutely gutted it, that whole back end out, and try to get cheaper. And so I think that Thieneman might have like the better, longer 10-year plan of whatever, I guess, career, and especially going forward, because right now I think he's on a better defense. I think individually Downs is just going to have like those highlight reel, like, Sports Center moments where he's going to take one to the house and do things like that, only because he's just going to have more opportunities, especially because the way that Dallas likes to play, the offense is a high-powered offense, so more teams are going to be throwing the ball, and there might be more shootouts. So Downs probably is just going to, to me, just going to have more opportunities. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, time will definitely tell. It's going to be fun to see how both of those guys' careers plays out for sure.
I was about to say,
Obviously,
like, it's so hard to answer that type of question, though, right? Because like there's so many variables and X factors that can come into this to make it seem
True.
like, you know, what happens. Like if Downs, you know, God forbid, ruptures an ACL or tears an Achilles, then, you know, he's not going to be the same dude that he was previously. And the same thing for Simeon too. Like it won't be like injuries play a thing. The team plays a thing. What if the Bears trade him, you know, for whatever reason a year or two down the road because they think that they can get somebody better? Like there's always so much that can go into it whenever you look at career wise. And so it's way too early for those types of things in my mind.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree too. Like I said, it's this is one of those way too early kind of season predictions thing or career predictions thing with the player. But like I said, it's one of those guys that they were considered to be 1 and 2 as far as in the safety positions, you know, there. So, and depending on some analysts, some guys maybe would have swapped him. So not very many, but at the same, you know, there's some guys that like Thieneman just a bit better for whatever reason. So, but Postman, no problem with the replies. As far as Thomas, I wasn't necessarily saying he was a perfect fit for the Bears offense. I don't mind him. I'm trusting but Ben's vision there. But it was a pick that definitely took me by surprise. A lot of these players, it's not so much you're getting them, it's just where you're getting them. I think most players had Xavier Thomas, like a 6th round, 7th round guys. Some guys had him as an undrafted type of guy. But speed kills in the NFL, and that's the one thing that Ben Johnson wanted desperately on this team, whether it be on the offense or defensive side of the ball. So let's move on to some of the other guys here that in the draft here. One of the bigger surprise, but one of the guys I want to give my co-host some credit for when we did our mock draft, he had picked the Cardinals getting Jeremiah Love with the 3rd pick in the draft, and he certainly nailed that. He said that would be such a move that would show us that you really not sure what you're doing, kind of spitballing, throwing some stuff at the wall, considering you don't really have your QB established yet. Decent offensive line, I guess, but still, like I said, you don't have the main part. Yeah, so
dumpster fire. I mean, they went and did some Cardinal things in that draft.
Yeah, I mean, so they went in and got him. He's best running back in the draft for sure, and one of the most talented running backs that you'll see, in these upcoming drafts and whatnot. So there's no questioning the talent there. But how do you like the landing spot fantasy wise with Love in Arizona? Is he going to just get met with a lot of eight box fronts there, or is he going to be able to do some damage and kind of score you some fantasy points? Mouse?
For me, I'm more curious on how this rotation is going to go out, because I mean they brought Connor, who's going to most likely be if he gets any opportunity, he's going to be on the goal line. So he's going to take all the touchdowns away from Love. That would possibly be anything that's within the first 5 yards and closer. And then they went in and signed Algieri from Atlanta. So what kind of rotation? Like who's the one that comes to that first and that second down? Who's the 3rd down back? So now, you're hoping that somebody gets hurt. And obviously, that you don't want to hear say that or hear that or see that. But that's the only way that it'll unmuddy the waters, because consistently he's not going to have those carries, because you got a 3-man committee. That's the absolute death sentence for anybody in fantasy. You don't. That's the worst. That's like a 4-letter word is committee. Committee anything. You don't want to see anything, especially your running backs. So somebody that high, that's that talented, yeah, he's going to have some splash plays. He's going to have some, he'll probably rip off a good 50, 60 yarders, but then he might not get the ball again for the next quarter and a half, because, depending on what the Cardinals, their QB situation turns out to be, you don't know how the offense is really going to, kind of iron itself out. So I think he's definitely the best player in this draft. Cardinals didn't do a disservice by drafting him. They did a disservice by doing everything else in front of it. You know what I mean? Like going and bringing back Connor, going and signing Algieri. I get it. Algieri might not be a nice, second piece, but then you go and get someone that would be supposedly be your bell cow, but I don't know how he's a bell cow when you got all that in front of him.
Yeah. Money Mike?
It's building up for the future, so like I kind of appreciate that, but like I echo everything that Mouth just said right now, right? Like you have running back by committee, 3 really good running backs. You're not going to be able to trade Connor. You're not gonna want to trade Algeria, especially given that you just signed him or anything like that. So they're gonna have to play. You have a first round running back that you got with the number 3 overall pick. So he's gonna the fans are gonna want to see him on the field. The biggest issue comes to what you said at the very beginning of the question, Kamish, was what type of defense is he going to see? Your quarterback is either Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Carson Beck, or Kyle Slovis. Right? No one's heard of Kyle Slovis, but he's on the damn roster for some damn reason. So those are your quarterbacks right now. Do you trust those guys to carve you apart? Right? Did you look at those guys and say, yeah, all those guys are going to be able to take the top off the defense? Hell no. So what are you going to do if you're the defense? I dare you to beat me with your run game, because that's all you're going to really be able to do, or your pass game, rather. We're going to stack everything up in the box now to stop that 3-headed monster you got at running back. And I pray that you can do it. And if you do it, cool, we'll adjust. But I sincerely doubt you'll be able to do it, because Jacoby Brissett is a career backup for a reason. Gardner Minshew is on his 29th team for a reason, right? Like this isn't a good team that the Arizona Cardinals have put out there together. And do you still trust Marvin Harrison Jr. as your number 1 wide receiver? Like, is that the guy that everyone's going to be going over to there? No, the only option you got is the damn tight end, and that's it. There's nothing else out there to help you out. So why wouldn't you just stack 8 in the box and say, I dare you to beat me?
See, and I think Love's only kind of possible saving grace, if you do draft him, is being in a PPR league. If the Cardinals are playing from behind a lot, they're going to be throwing a lot more than they're going to be running the clock out. So Love does have good hands, so he will be viable there in the passing game. So he'll get a decent amount of dink and dunk passes, put together some 30, 40-yard games there. And then if he gets a touchdown, that makes his fantasy stats look a bit better. But you hate for that to be dependent on a top,
2 points in the fourth quarter and hope that because they're down by 14 that he's going to get some garbage and maybe get you to 10 points. Like for someone that's probably going to get drafted in the top 20 of running backs. So he's going to be somewhere in the top, you would say, 3 rounds. Somewhere's in probably the top 2, most likely because of where he's been drafted at. So someone's going to get him within the first 5 or 6 running backs coming off the board. That first, whatever it is, 24 picks or whatever your league is, 10 or 12. But that's just rough going, because he got drafted in a great football situation for him, but a horrible freaking fantasy situation.
And like Mouth, you said it perfectly, right? Like the goal line back is going to be Connor, right? So now you got a touchdown vulture there, and we all know as fantasy players, whenever you got that running back that's a smaller guy that's not going to be the one of the goal line, you don't want to really start that guy like that. The upside might be there for yards, but the points come in the end zone, and he ain't going to be getting the ball in the end zone.
Listen, rips one off.
Now, switching to other running backs here, going to his teammate. I ended up getting him in my dynasty draft. I think his situation, I love his situation there in Seattle with Jadarian Price.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to really worry about.
That one.
He did. And that was another spot on pick. Does not have to worry about Charbonnet at all for at least a good half of the season, if not the rest of the season. So he has a very good chance to kind of take that starting role and get a good grip on it and not.
That's a sneaky pick right there. That's a sneaky pick that I would love to pick up on my second running back. He'd be some of my flex, second running back. Because, like you said, in that offense, he's going to get, got to worry about Walker no more. Charbonnet's going to be there. And the guy that backed up Charbonnet, I don't even know who the hell his name was, but as soon as Walker went off the field, that dude was trash in the Super Bowl. So he's going to have all the opportunity in the world to go in there and take over for the first 2 months, honestly. So, I mean, that right there, he's a sneaky pick for me.
Minimum 2 months, right? Like minimum 2 months. Like it's going to be his running back room for as long as it's going to take Charbonnet to come back. And then if he is really good, then like Charbonnet is just going to be your, you know, your third down back, that other back, you know, kind of give him a little bit of rest and do some stuff like that. That was such a great pick by the Seattle Seahawks. And I know like a lot of people were clowning on him. How do you let Kenneth Walker walk away? At least I was one of the people clowning on him.
Yeah, I honestly was with you. I was with you on that one. I argue with that one. I'm not on the show, and I'm like, how the hell do you let who's going to be your running back? You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, I threw up in my mouth for saying it, but Seattle have made a really great fucking pick.
Yeah, and like Jadarian Price, like as soon as they drafted that, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to shut up now. Like they knew what they knew what they wanted. They got what they wanted. I'm gonna be quiet.
And that was one of the things I know. Me and another, I can't remember who I was talking about it with. It might have been like Chef James, to where we were talking about before the Super Bowl and the Ken Walker situation. And I was like, man, if he laid out the situation, if he gets MVP and whatnot, like Seattle got to bring him back. They got to bring him back. You know, Charbonnet's out. Like, what other option do they really have, especially if he, you know, blows up? And it's like, I get that. You know, I get where they may want him, but him being a free agent, if they don't like throw the bag at him, you know, really, or kind of give him the money he wants, because one of the two things always with these players, it's like they're either chasing a big bag or the ring. And if they could help it, you know, both would be nice and stuff. So him getting the ring out of the way now, getting off his rookie contract, like he's like, no, I'm ready for that payday, whether it be with you or somebody else. So I just didn't see Ken Walker taking any kind of a hometown discount, even though if
That's
he's
one of
going to
those.
guarantee that I'm going to get the starting role, I felt like he was going to move on if someone gave him a better deal, which he did.
I mean, it's honestly, that's what I'm saying. That's honestly one of those things where that marriage, everybody, like, he broke off and he got with the hot chick, and you know the person ended up with the new fancy freaking the new fancy 20-year-old too. So like this is one of those things where the mutual parting worked out for everybody else, and everybody's freaking happy because him going to Kansas City, you know what I mean? Like he couldn't end up in a better situation, and you know Seattle drafting their running back of the next few years in the future for them, it worked out for them. So it's one of those two teams. I kind of hope that the planes can all kind of crash in the ocean, but it definitely just worked out for both of them. And honestly, you couldn't. It doesn't always happen that way. Now we'll see what happens when the season starts. But on paper, and everybody won.
Right.
I still can't wrap my mind around Sam Darnold's Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's wild to me, man.
Yep.
Yeah, people are gonna have to get used to it. I mean, shit. I mean, the ones that are really kicking themselves in the ass are, you know, the Jets and what the Panthers before then. You know, so I mean,
Minnesota, they didn't walk out the door.
Oh, and Minnesota as well. Yeah, even Minnesota.
More
than anything else.
I mean,
they really
won 15 games. Only won 15 games, and then they're like, yeah, you know what? We don't want to pay you $25-30 million. Go ahead and walk. We'll go fuck our team up with this kid.
With 9, we'll go.
I'll say 9 ain't even good.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's so good that they went and got a midget, you know, as their starting QB. So we'll see how that works out for them. Cotton, bold strategy there. So
that could be interesting. That could be interesting for fantasy, because I mean, honestly, that might unlock JJ again and bring it back into asset relevancy, because I know if anybody's happy, is Jetta freaking seeing McCarthy sit his ass on the sidelines.
So Postman says, just say Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson, and it won't sound wild. Yeah, as far as Super Bowl winning QBs, yeah, that is true.
If I'm not mistaken, we can also put Jeff Hostetler on there for the Giants, like in the late 80s too. Like he won it. It wasn't one, and it was him.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if it's up to me, we can put guys like, you know, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre on there. I mean, they only kind of lucked into one. So
all that garbage.
yeah, you know, whatever. So anybody can be a luck box. But anyways,
Jalen Hurts with a 2-time MVP. What kind of shit is that?
I do think a sneaky running back play. Speaking of Ken Walker, he's been known to kind of get injured. So the Chiefs did draft Emmett Johnson later in that draft and stuff. So I think it's one of those guys. If you do in a redraft league get Ken Walker, you would get a huge favor to get Emmett Johnson as the handcuff there. Like
Get your
that
hand
will work.
twisted.
So, yeah, because Ken Walker's, it's not a matter of if he's going to go down, it's
When.
when he's going to go down. So, moving on to the receivers here. The bigger name receiver, the first one that kind of went off the board was Carnell Tate over to the Tennessee Titans. I know they had recently signed Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants there to kind of be Cam Ward's number one, but that was a psych moment. They said, nah, actually, Cam, this Carnell Tate, he's your number one. So what are you guys thinking of that landing spot? Are you think it'll work out for him? Or do you like one of the other landing spots from one of the other guys of Lemon and Tyson?
I think that was definitely the first what the fuck moment of the draft. I don't think anybody's seen Carnell Tate going number 4 to the. I mean, I guess you're trying to put some pieces around, Ward, so it's not a bad move. It's definitely not a bad move, but it was definitely something that, I mean, every draft show and everybody, talking head that comes on those shows, no one had Carnell Tate going for it. So, like, you know what I mean? Everybody thought because of the way he scored, in the combine, that he was actually going to drop. So no one thought he was going to be the first wide receiver. Like I said, fantasy wise, it's going to be an interesting fit because there's the cupboard was pretty bare over there in Tennessee. So it actually might work in a fantasy draft, redraft league. That might work in your favor to have him as a flex option and get your third wide receiver, someone else coming off the bench, kind of see how that dynamic works out for late in the season. But no, he was definitely that was the first what the fuck's going on here of the draft.
Right. Yeah.
I think long term, like, it might be able to help out a little bit. Like, if you're looking for the best landing spot for right now, like short term, then it's got to be Makai Lemon, right? Because he's probably going to get some balls thrown his way. Like Mouth was talking about, that NFC East is just going to be a pass happy ass division. Like they're going to be putting up points. They're going to be trying to throw the ball down the field. He's going to get a lot more opportunities this season. I like what Tennessee did. Like, yeah, you're right. It is a what the fuck moment, but it gives you two dudes that you can look at as like a 1 and a 1A, right? Because Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be able to take the top off the team. We saw him do that last year. He really had that breakout season last year. He gives you that option to throw the deep ball down the field. That's where Tate's going to be able to maybe take over those medium range, routes for you, get those 10 to 15 yard routes for you to keep moving the ball down the field. And I feel like that's where he's going to make his bread and butter, is just he's going to probably have more targets that way, even though Wan'Dale Robinson's going to be your number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're really Tennessee's really not giving Ward any kind of excuses, offensively. They're giving him more than enough weapons so he can't really say that, hey, I don't really got much to throw to or deal with and stuff. But it definitely was one of the more surprising picks. Robert Saleh being on that team, I think a lot of people were expecting the defensive pick from a defensive head coach and stuff, and whether it be like Sonny Styles or would it have been who was the other one from?
I thought it was going to be
Reese.
Reese, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I thought it was one of the two.
So he ended up going, picking an offensive weapon. So the first receiver off the board. Like I said, I think Cam Ward, he's probably loving that for sure. It almost sounds like, from what you're kind of describing, like he could have maybe a type of rookie season like that the Giants receiver had. Neighbors type of
definitely. He's going to get opportunities, like Mike said, because Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be. He's got the focal point, and he's definitely going to get those underneath the rope.
Yeah, more possession type of receiver.
Yeah.
So, you were saying that you kind of liked Makai Lemon's situation in with the Eagles there a bit better than Tate there. Go ahead and elaborate on that.
Like I said, like short term, right? Like I think because you have to worry about Devontae Smith, because you have to worry about Dallas Goedert, like there's just more weapons on Philadelphia where Makai Lemon can kind of get lost, and he can get that guy that just pads his stats because he's just wide open all the time, because you got to worry about so many other things. Like Philadelphia was a very underachieving team last year. They're still one of the most talented teams in the NFL right now. So you got Lemon there. He's going to get his opportunities. I still don't trust Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. Maybe it's just me being a Dallas Cowboys fan and hating on Jalen Hurts, but I don't like. I know the opportunities are going to be there short term. You might get that success there, but long term, if you have Tate, you drafted Tate. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't get discouraged by it. Like none of that stuff. You know that there's going to be growing pains with Tennessee, where it looks like the early success is probably going to be with Lemon in Philadelphia. You just got to trust the process.
The thing with Philadelphia that could maybe be a bit discouraging as far as being a Lemon owner. You mentioned Dallas Goedert, but he's on his way out as far as age-wise, only got a few more years left. But in the second round, they ended up getting his replacement, it looked like, in Eli Stowers, if I'm mispronouncing that correctly. So he's there seemingly to be the replacement. So he's another guy that could possibly take a little bit of action away. And if they don't, for whatever reason, don't trade A.J. Brown, it even more just kind of pushes Lemon down that depth chart and stuff to kind of really make his
so it pushes Lemon down the depth chart. It puts him into the slot, right? All of us kind of love a little slot receiver.
Yeah, I don't mind being a little slotty. So but did my Mexican accent kind of mispronounce that word? That happens at times. My bad. But
I was gonna say this coconut just tried to be all freaking.
I was like that might be the most Mexican thing he said was saying Mexican.
Let me hear. Hey, say salsa one time, fucker.
After the show, the people aren't interested in that right now. Okay, this isn't the Fifth Degree. What are you, Border Patrol or something? Like asking me these questions.
Get your ass right now.
Hey, all I'm saying is you can't spell Michael Tipton without ICE.
Oh shit! This might be the last time I can have you on the show, but we'll figure that out.
Mike, when you visit Phoenix, I know where he lives. We'll get his ass out of here.
You know what? It's always your friends that turn yourself in. You know that get you.
You got to keep the people close. You got to keep them close to you.
Yeah, apparently. But let's mention this other receiver here. There, Tyson ends up going to the Saints. You know, so he gets paired up with Tyler Shucks. You know, so and he actually turned into actually viable fantasy QB towards the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, so Tyson doesn't have to worry about having the spotlight, you know, on him. He's not going to get double teamed. He's got the other guy to kind of take that away from him. And I'm trying to blank here in his name.
Olave?
Yeah.
Chris Olave. Yeah, and Olave. He's got Olave taking the attention away from him there.
Olave was born. He came out of his mama. He got spanked, and they put him on the IR. The dude was
he's a concussion.
Stay hurt. You know.
I mean, he's one concussion away for being in protocol for the rest of his life. So I mean,
he's 2.0.
Yeah, he took some shots though, like, you know what I mean. But definitely, that's one of those opportunities that you know what I mean. Someone goes down, an opportunity to steps in. So that's another sneaky, you know, fantasy pick, because definitely Tyler Shuck, like you said, no one when he got drafted, everybody was like, "What the hell are fucking Saints doing?" And then the last about 6 weeks, they looked like they actually knew what they were doing. So yeah, he might be one of those sneaky picks.
How much of that is dumb luck, though, right? Like, because I still haven't bought it, man. I think it's fool's gold. I think he got lucky just being the dude at the end of the depth chart at the end of the season when people didn't give a shit about your team anymore. That's where I think he got, like, and it looked good, right? I think it's fool's gold.
They almost won the division. They almost came back and won the division. Was crap, but they still almost came back and won the division.
It's fool's gold.
Maybe. Well, but it might be a great spot for Tyson or for Dyson.
Do you? I mean, so then do you guys like maybe some of the landing spots of some of these other guys, like Casey Concepcion ends up going to the Browns there? I mean, their QB situation really isn't much better. But not only him, not only him, but him and Denzel Boston go to the Browns there. So they end up taking, 2 receivers within the first 2 rounds there. Out of those 2, if you have to pick from the Cleveland fresh receivers there, which one of those guys do you think will have the better career going forward? Kind of like what Postman was asking us about Dylan and Caleb Downs. Which out of those 2 receivers, which one do you think has a better option?
I think Harold Fenton is a better option right now because that.
I mean, yeah,
because that wide receiver room. It's like because that wide receiver room is barren. I mean, you don't know what everybody's hoping that Deshaun Watson from Houston from 5 years ago is going to walk through that building, and he's not, but he's going to get the opportunities because he's making $50 million. So Shedeur Sanders would be the better option. Is going to be sitting for most of the year. So I mean, when you have all these QBs and you have no QBs, like that's where they're at in Cleveland right now. So I mean, anybody on the outside is absolutely buyer beware. Like if you're playing them, it's because you have no other options to put those guys in your starting lineup.
Now I hear what you're saying with that, but I know you guys remember this receiver that was in Cleveland. And they didn't have really much of a QB, but he balled the hell out because that's all they had in Josh Gordon. So I'm not trying to say that these guys are the next coming of Josh Gordon, but I'm just saying it can happen, and especially in a place like Cleveland and stuff. Too.
Josh Gordon was a special teams, but he was a special teams guy though too. That's where he made his bones.
Like I said, I'm not trying to say that he is that, but it is within the realm of reason to where you can have a decent or viable NFL career, no matter if it's a QB.
Okay, so I agree, right? Like the sun shines on the dog's ass every now and then. The sun ain't shining in Cleveland, brother. Like it ain't happening. Like okay, you draft these dudes, it's because Casey can say you're like maybe this guy could do something. Maybe you dangle it out there as trade bait in the future or something like that. If you're starting him, like Mal said, you got some problems happening on your team right now. Or maybe the sun finally shined in Cleveland, but I guarantee you the day you start him will be the worst damn day of his career because there was nobody there to throw the ball. I don't trust Shedeur. I don't trust Dylan Gabriel. It's a bad situation for everybody in Cleveland. And like I said, Harold Fannin, that might be your only option because that's a security blanket. So maybe you just go hard on that if you got him. Are you
even interested in them and like dynasty wise? Because if they say they're in the top 10 or top 5 in picks, and they can actually get a QB next year.
Dynasty wise, I would hold on to him.
Yeah, dynasty. Which one's good? KC does punt returning, right? So I mean, he's probably the only one that's viable option like that way because he has like you're saying, Josh Gordon, like he has like punt return by yards and possibility to do something like that on special teams. I think that would be I think that'd be his only his value out of the two, probably because KC is actually a punt returner, does kickoff return, so you got chances to get points that way. But I mean, either that, if it's not dynasty, then I mean, if you're doing redrafts, he's someone you're sitting on your bench. You know what I mean? And he's one of those bye week candidates. You know what I mean? He's gonna be in the free agent pool for for most of the year. Well, both of them are going to be.
And like the second you start him, you're just sweating it the whole time because you're like, damn, I got to put this guy in. I don't want to do this. It's a Cleveland Browns. It'll probably be the week they play like the best defense in the NFL, so you're not going to get any points. It's going to be bad for you. Don't do it.
Get you a donut. Go eat you a donut.
So, all right. Well, then let's I'll throw these two together here, 2 different positions, but players went to the same team here. So between Omar Cooper and Kenyon Sadiq with the Jets, which one of those 2 options do you think would be better fantasy play in a redraft league this year?
It's the same thing. Who's throwing the damn ball to him?
Geno Smith. Yes, Geno Smith.
Yes. So the other team's going to have more fantasy points, is what we're saying right now. So they're going to be throwing. They're going to be throwing. What Diamondback, what defensive back, what safety is on the other team? Because I'm going to start those guys those week. Like I think that's probably the most thing that I'd be looking at with Geno Smith throwing the football to my team or throwing the ball to the other team. I'm going to pick, whoever's team that's playing that defensive back that week. Those are going to be my guys I'm starting for that week because hopefully they're going to get an interception for me. So it's going to be a pretty good probability that he'll throw an interception more than he'll throw a touchdown to one of those two guys.
That's what I was about to say. Like, you can't spell Geno Smith without INT. Like, come on, man. Like, that's a weird ass question, Commish. Why are we talking about these bottom dwelling ass teams that nobody's going to enjoy watching? Even their fans hate watching this tripe that they put out there.
We are talking about the players. So these are fantasy relevant players that we want to talk about. I mean, yeah, especially in dynasty drafts. Sadiq is a guy that is going to be talked about, is someone that you're going to be looking at, is going to be on that board there to pick. So, I mean,
yeah.
You're going to be like, damn, do I take this dude that's got Geno Smith thrown to him, or do I take this dude that's taking Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel thrown to him? Let me find out someone else who's got an option for me.
Sometimes it comes down to those options, though. I mean, like,
you
know what I mean?
If those are your options, you do fuck your draft up. You're fucking your draft up. It's like, I hope you're in my league. I hope you're in my league. If you're taking that guy, like in round 10, and you want to go get Sadiq, please. I want you to go do that. And I want you to play him week 1 too. Put him in your flex option.
Mouth. This is what Kamish has. 2 of those 4 players on his team, and he's just trying
to talk himself into it. Trying to talk himself into the bro. You don't understand that there is a possibility that this guy will go off this week. And it's like, I do not care. It's Dylan Gabriel throwing him the ball, and then he can't see him over his line. He just threw it up there. Fuck, he's out there somewhere.
Guys are just a bunch of haters. You don't see. You don't have this vision for this, man.
You don't have the vision. Yeah, you don't have the vision that I have.
I'm just saying, man. Like, get the right quarterback on the Browns, and it's going to be great. It's going to be game over.
You got to have vision.
I'm telling you, man. You got to see. You got to be able to see these things, man.
Hey, I want you to wear those glasses when we do a redraft. That way, hopefully you can see that you're drafting this motherfucker in the 8th round. But wear them glasses. Wear them Stevie Wonder goggles.
In reality, so I'll answer my own question since you guys want to avoid that. So I do like Sadiq a bit better than Omar Cooper. I get, you're not thrilled about Geno Smith and whatnot. So, but Jets are going to be losing. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So, I mean, even if you're just getting catches and the yardage and whatnot and being in PPR leagues and stuff. So if I had to choose between those two, I do like Sadiq's athletic ability a bit more than Omar Cooper. Plus, Omar Cooper does have to deal with guys like Garrett Wilson as well and stuff to kind of fighting for some shares and whatnot. So, but between those guys and whatnot, so I do like those guys, especially in a tight end premium. If you're doing a dynasty, whatnot, I'm really liking Sadiq a bit more. So, but we can move
definitely
on.
He's definitely the more athletic out of the two. So I mean, he's probably going to have some more options. But it just scares me when Geno Brown's throwing for 120 yards and 3 interceptions. So I mean, that's just it's one of those things where he might look good, like really good on paper, but so did Kyle Pitts for the last 6 years.
And again, right, like maybe it's a dude that you draft in the dynasty league, you hold him up there hoping that he can reach some potential. But if you've got to worry about it this year, then you've had some terrible health, like terrible problems.
I mean, fair enough. Like I said, it's not definitely not looking to get Geno Smith as your QB for fantasy at all, anything like that. But I do think
that is not the stack you want. That is not the stack that you want.
It's definitely not the stack you want and stuff. But it's one of those things where if something happens to Garrett Wilson again, I mean, Omar Cooper does definitely bump up to someone who's just going to get the kind of volume there. So
it's going to be like week 9, and we're going to look at the commission's lineup because he likes to like put it out there for us to look at. And it's going to be Geno Smith and Omar Cooper. Like, that's going to be who he's going to look for.
You don't know. They're about to blow up. You don't have the vision. You're real dumb. You're real dumb in about 6 or 7 months when this motherfuckers are blowing the fuck up. And the New York Jets are looking at 3-17.
And then if that doesn't happen, I just erased the video. So
Yeah.
we never talked about this. So, well, anyways, guys, Money Mike, thank you very much for checking us out, joining the show, hopping back on with us again here at the clubhouse. We always love having you back on here. We always ask you to do us a solid.
Come back.
And you do just that. So please let the good people of the clubhouse where they can find you and your content out there.
Yeah, every Monday through Friday, most Wednesdays, every now and then I got a day game because I work at a baseball stadium and we do day games, but no day games from now until August. So Monday through Friday, the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. You can follow me on social media at MrTipton33, at Mr. Tipton33 on all the social media platforms.
Awesome. Thank you again. Mouse from the Bay, any final words for people of the clubhouse before we go ahead and sign off for the evening?
No, but I mean, it's time to start doing your homework now. All these rookies are on teams. Everybody's doing OTAs. Veterans are gonna come into camp here in the next few weeks, next few months. So I mean, it's definitely start time to do your homework and start figuring out where these players are going to be in the depth chart, because some of these rookies are definitely whether they're in a shitty situation or not, they're going to make an impact for your fantasy team. Maybe not your football team, but definitely a fantasy team.
Yeah, unless they're on the Jets or the Browns, apparently. So
you're pretty much.
then yes,
They ain't doing shit.
That's buyer everywhere.
You might as well just count the season as a loss, throw it in the trash, and we're on.
They're already mathematically eliminated. I mean that when it's June and they're both mathematically eliminated right now. So just think of it that way.
And man, and you're not even talking about like the Dolphins, who are like actively trying to tank. So I mean, like,
that's a whole nother.
Of those guys.
Hold on, dumpster fire. Jesus, I feel sorry for A-Chain right now.
We all know the Dolphins are trying to tank, and the Jets are still worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's hard to do. That's hard to do.
That's really, the team's generally outgoing. They letting everybody know we're trying to fucking suck, so we can get the highest draft pick, and they're gonna be the third pick next year.
And just miss out on the QB they want. So some things never change. Well, guys, thank you again for checking us out here. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the like button. Please do us a solid subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,600 subscribers by the start of the season, and we can't do that without you guys. So please help us grow the clubhouse. The more members in the clubhouse, the louder the music is, the more fun the ruckus is. So please help us grow the clubhouse and subscribe, share us to other fantasy league mates of yours. Maybe we're their cup of coffee. If we're not your cup of coffee, that's fine. That's fine. We'll grow on you like a sick mole.
Go drink some tea then. Go drink some tea then. If you don't like coffee, go drink some tea.
But share us around and stuff like that. So we would greatly appreciate it and stuff. So, he's got that cough medicine that we were talking about. There it is.
If I'm not your cup of tea, I'll definitely be a tea. I got you.
That's that 17-0 drink right there. That's that 17-0s.
That one might burn a little going down. That one might burn a little.
It always does.
All right. Be safe out there. Be good out there. But if you can't be good, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
Just don't be on the Browns or Jets.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
And now it's all